From Rixie, this is the Daily Rec. I'm Jan O'Connor. My artist recommendation for today is Sturgill Simpson. Another story of a friend of mine saying, hey, have you heard of this guy Sturgill Simpson? And I'm like, who? No, haven't heard of him. So it was a good friend of mine. Her name is Brooke Kalin. She is a life coach now. She does amazing work for people, works with, she just recently moved back to Nashville, so she's living there. And when she was in the Nashville scene, really before Sturgill hit it big, she was, he was somebody that she had heard out and heard of. And by the time I got the recommendation, he was already a Grammy winner. The first song that she told me to listen to was Life of Sin, and I haven't stopped listening to it since. And really, just tons and tons of great music from him. Love his lyrics, love his old style, love the way the album's been produced. Changes from here to there. His first album is super, super country. And the last one is, is pretty rock oriented, so he's really been an artist that isn't going to stay pigeonholed into one thing. I look forward to what's he going to do next? Is it going to be a whole album with lots of horns? Great. This is awesome. He's really, he's definitely one of my favorite artists.
Hello.
Hey, Brooke, how are you?
Good.
I'm very much into Sturgill Simpson these days and have been ever since you said, hey, have you heard of this guy, Sturgill Simpson? And I'm like, who? So I guess I just kind of wanted to chat with you real quick about that. I don't know if you remembered that discussion or events that took place. I think we went to go see Gold Top County Ramblers at Ball Top. I think this is where the discussion came about. I know you were in Nashville. How did you get turned on to listening to Sturgill?
So, I do remember the conversation now that you've prompted me, because I remember we were sitting outside on the patio and it was slightly chilly, but it was a really sunny day. And I was in Nashville at the time when Sturgill's, I think it was one of his first, at least the popular album came out. The Meta Modern Sounds and Country Music came out in 2014. And then A Sailor's Guide to Earth came out in 2016. I think it was somebody that I knew at the time that had the actual record and was playing it. And I was like, who is this? And I think I'd heard Sturgill on the radio a lot because Nashville was starting to go through that really interesting transition into kind of this the modern country kind of thing that's happening now.
Right.
So it was just on the cusp of that whole trend kind of exploding here. So I had heard sounds like that before. But I heard the record and I remember being moved to tears because I love when musicians, especially men with deep voices, do this really emotional, profound, strong vocal piece with some kind of dreamy or etheric thing going on in the background, which he does in A Sailor's Guide to Earth in the opening song about his son being born. Welcome to Earth, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's beautiful. So I remember just being really in love with the way that he combined lots of different pieces in his music.
I specifically remember that because I said, well, what song should I check out? Because you actually said to me hey, maybe you should think about covering this guy, which now that I know if you feel that strongly about him makes me feel good.
I probably was talking about Turtles on the Way Down was the song probably that I told you to listen to.
and then you also sent me Life of Sin, which is I started covering that song right away. And I still do it. I still do that song all the time. Yeah, we do a pretty. I think Sturgill would like my cover of his song actually. So
I love it. Maybe you should get in touch with him.
He's definitely, for me, I listen to him, and his albums have changed through time, which I really like about him. He's definitely not an artist that's going to be, put in one category of music. I mean, he can do lots of different things. But his early stuff to me just really spoke to me as a songwriter and somebody trying to make it. I just respected him being very honest with everything he was going through. And I think that came out in the music, and it still does.
Yeah, he's a great storyteller. And I would imagine, like, if you're, I know you enough as a person, like, you have that same kind of, like, stoic, but also very, like, pure emotional energy to you. Like, you have this sort of current of, like, down-home truth, which I really appreciate.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I think that's true about me.
So I would recommend still, even though these are older albums, Welcome to Earth, which is on the Sailor's Guide to Earth album. I just love meta-modern sounds in country music so much. So Turtles All the Way Down, I would say Life of Sin and Living the Dream off that album.
Sounds good.
I'm so glad you had me on today.
I'm so glad you were available. I didn't know that I was going to be doing that. And then they said, well, hey, do you mind giving them a call real quick? And I was like, I would love to call her and just say hello. So I did not mind at all. I hope you're doing well. And thank you so much for taking a few minutes out to say hi. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for thinking of me. This was so fun.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
If you want to check out Sturgill, you've got a great recommendation from me and my friend Brooke. Check out the links in the show notes. That's it for the Daily Rec. Catch you tomorrow.